Hello everyone, myself Vishal Nadapra, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Dr. Subhash Technical Campus, Junagadh, welcomes you in a lecture series of fluid mechanics. We were discussing about the fluid static. We have seen in last lecture molecular definition of pressure, then hydrostatic law, which stated the pressure variation in the vertical downward direction is equal to the not variation, but pressure increment in the downward direction is equal to the weight density of the fluid. Then we have seen hydrostatic paradox, which is something related to the hydrostatic force on the bottom of the tank, besides depending on volume which is covered in this vessel. Then we have seen the two definition: total pressure and center of pressure. Total pressure is the pressure force acting on the acting on the wall when liquid comes in contact with that wall or surface. And then we have seen the total surface center of the pressure. Center of pressure is nothing but the point of application of the total pressure, or simply a pressure force. Now, today we will see the amount, or we will derive the equation of total pressure and derive the location of center of pressure for the all four type of surfaces which we have seen on previous session, which is vertical surface, horizontal surface, inclined surface, and curved surface. So let's start today with the vertical plane surface. Here you can see one vertical surface of arbitrary shape, and it have a height of about say x from the free surface of liquid. This is the free surface of liquid OO. For the calculation purpose of the total pressure force acting on this surface, let's consider a very small strip of distance dx, a vertical dimension dx, or vertical height dx, and width b. And another dimension, let's consider that the depth of this strip from the free surface of liquid is x. So for the calculation of the total pressure, we must have to calculate the pressure force acting on this strip first, and then we will do the integration. So we can calculate by this way, we can calculate the total force acting on this surface. So let's consider the intensity of pressure on this surface is P. Let's suppose intensity of pressure is small p on this surface. And according to the definition of the force, the total pressure force, or the total pressure, is equal to the intensity of pressure multiplied by area. So here you can say the intensity of pressure, or the is P on the surface, and the total pressure acting on this strip, which is a small p, it is equal to W into X, which is nothing but the hydrostatic law, rho g H. H is X is the height of this strip, or the depth of this strip from the free surface of liquid. So this distance is X. So this is the small pressure, or the pressure force acting on the small strip. And now the pressure force, this is the intensity of pressure. Now the total pressure force is the pressure into area. So intensity of pressure is P, and the area of this strip is B into dx. Here you can see. So B into dx. So if we put the value of P from this equation, then we get the total pressure force on this strip is Wx into B dx. To calculate the total force acting on the whole area, we have to take integration. So the total pressure force is the integration of Wx times the B dx. If we take the constant value out of the integration sign, then we can take out the W, say weight density, from the integration sign. But here you can say in integration, it is the B dx into x. Now B into dx again is the area of this small strip. So here you can say B dx is the small area. We can say it is a dA, small area times the x. So x is the distance between area of this strip. Here area of the strip from the free surface of liquid. So when you sum up all this type of area into distance, area into distance, area into distance, then it will give us the moment of this surface area about the surface or about the axis which we have considered as a reference. And here our reference is a liquid surface. So this term, say integration b dx into x, will give us the moment of surface area of this whole area about the free surface of liquid. And so when we have to take or we have to consider the distance, then we have to consider distance about the CG or center of gravity of the whole area. And so the equation will become area, say the total area of the body times the distance of CG from the free surface of liquid, which is x bar here. Here you can say distance of CG that already we have considered, say x bar. X bar is the distance of CG from the free surface of liquid. So by putting this value in the equation of total pressure force, we get the equation P equal to weight density times area times x bar. X bar is the distance of CG from the free surface of liquid. Area is the total area in meter square, and omega small w, it is weight density, or equal to rho g. So by this way, we get or we can calculate the total pressure acting on any vertical surface if you know the total area and the depth of this area or the CG of area from the free surface of liquid, having divided the density of liquid, sorry, multiply by the density of the liquid times gravitational acceleration. So this is the total pressure force acting on the total area. Now we are interested to calculate the center of pressure, or we can say the possible application of this application or point of the application of this pressure force P. So for that we have to first consider the principle of momentum, principle of moments, which states that the moment of the resultant force about the any axis is equal to the sum of the moments of the component of that force about the same axis. So by with the help of this principle of moments, we can calculate or we can consider the distance or the location of application of force or the application of total pressure force. So having this distance, we have to equalize two quantities, which is the sum of moments of the component of forces about the axis and the moment of resultant force about the same axis. So we consider the OO or liquid surface, it is the common axis for both the cases. We first take the application of moment of the small force acting on the small strip, which is nothing but the dp, and then take the integration of these all forces, then we get the total moment of forces, sum of the total moments of surface, and then we will take the moment of the resultant forces, which is the p times the distance from the free surface of the liquid. So first we will take the moment of component of forces. For that, again consider the small strip, and the intensity of this on this small strip is the p, and the total area area of this strip is b into dx. Then we can calculate as given here, the pressure force on the strip is p into b into dx, and so wx b into dx. So this is the total pressure force acting on the strip. Now if we take the moment of this pressure force or small force dp about this free surface of liquid OO, then we have to consider the distance, which is nothing but the x we have already taken here. So this pressure force times the this distance x. So by this way we can calculate the moment of the small force acting on the strip, so which is here wx into bdx times x. So it is omega x square into bdx. This is the moment which we have considered about the force acting on this small strip, but we are interested to calculate the area moment of the all such forces acting on this strip. So taking the integration, we get the equation like this. and constant value we can take out from the sign of the integration. We get the equation like this: omega into x square b dx. But here x square b dx is again a some indicate some value. Here you can say vdx is the area of the strip, say small area of the strip, which is equal to, you can say it is a small area dA, and small area into dA times 2 times the multiplication of the distance from any free surface. Here this free surface is liquid, free surface of liquid. So ultimately you can say it is the 2 times moment of this small area dA. So it is nothing but the moment of inertia of the area about the free surface of liquid, and which is called I0. In other terms, you can say second moment of the surface area about the free surface of A, which is denoted as a I0. Now, in further going, we get the in last equation in last slide we get the equation which is equal to total moment of the all component of forces is m equal to omega into I0. Let's say it is the equation number 1. Now, according to the principle of momentum, the principle of moments, let's consider the moment of the resultant force, which is nothing but the P, moment of the resultant force with respect to the free surface of liquid OO. So here, moment of this pressure force into distance, which is equal to h bar here. Now, question came into mind: why we have taken h bar is larger than x bar? Yes, you can consider the point C over here also, because C that is already we have considered here. You can see the C above the CG or less than the CG, and the distance of H bar you can take from here to here also. But let's consider which possibility will be true after the consideration, after the calculation or the simplification of this theory. Here you can take C also. So let's take moment P times the H bar. Equating about the equation, we can get H bar equal to I0 upon AX bar. This is the equation number 1, and this is the equation number 2. So after considering these two equations, we get the equation H bar equal to I0 upon AX bar. Here I0 again, keep in mind this I0 or IO is nothing but the moment of area or the moment of surface area, second moment of surface area about this liquid surface OO, which is sometimes quite difficult to calculate when the object is not known or it is very deep in the inside the water. So it is better to have the equation which gives a moment of inertia about the axis passing from the CG. This is the moment of area, a moment of inertia about the free surface of liquid. But we are interested to calculate the moment of inertia about the center of gravity of the area. So for that, we must apply the parallel axis theorem, which states that I0 equal to Ig plus Ax bar. I0 is the moment of inertia about any axis, which is equal to the moment of inertia about the axis passing through CG plus total area times the 2 times the distance or the square of the distance between these two axes. Let's consider the distance between these two is h. So this h is nothing but the distance between these two reference axes. First reference axis is OO, free surface of liquid, and the second reference axis is axis passing through the CG. But here, as per the given condition or as per the assumption, h bar equal to x bar, because we have already considered the distance of CG from the free surface of liquid is x bar. So in this case, the h will become x bar. By putting this value of I0 in the equation of h bar, we get the equation like this: h bar equal to Ig plus Ax bar divided by Ax bar. And if we give separately this numerator to both, then we get the equation of h bar equal to Ig, which is nothing but the moment of inertia about the free surface of, about the axis passing from the CG of the area or CG of the surface, divided by total area times x bar, which is the distance of CG from the free surface of liquid, plus x bar. So now turn comes which possibility is true. Either C may above the CG or C may below the CG. C is the center of application of force or center of pressure. So here, according to this equation, let's consider which will be true. Ig is the moment of inertia about the free surface, about the axis passing from the CG. So it is always positive. So this is always positive value times the area. Area is always positive. X bar is the distance. It is also again positive. So here you can say this whole term Ig upon Ax bar is always positive, is always a positive value. So h bar is nothing but the summation of any positive value plus x bar. So here you can say the value of h bar is always greater than x bar. And so from these two assumptions, the upper assumption is wrong, and hence we can say the center of pressure is always below the center of gravity for any vertical surface. So by this way, we have derived the equation h bar, say a location of the center of pressure. H bar is the height of the free surface of height from the free surface of liquid. Uh, so this is the total pressure and center of pressure on vertical plane surfaces. Let's move on the next type of surface, which is the horizontal surface. So here, horizontal surface, you can say, you can see here in the figure, this is horizontal surface and the distance of the CG. As we consider, as we neglect the thickness of this or the height of this plate, then CG and center of pressure C and CG both are comes on the same plane and both have a distance x bar from the free surface of liquid. Let's consider the total pressure force P. Total pressure force P, according to the hydrostatic law, total pressure force P is nothing but the small p times area. And the small p again, according to the hydrostatic law, it is equal to rho g h times area. Here h is the distance from the free surface of liquid. Here we have taken h as a x bar. So we get the equation, and rho g is nothing but the specific weight. So specific weight times x bar times area. So the total pressure force is equal to specific weight times area times x bar, which is the distance of CG from the free surface of liquid, which is the same equation as we have derived in horizontal vertical plane surface. And as for the location of the center of pressure, we can consider the, if we neglect the thickness, then x bar is equal to h bar. So this is the location of the center of pressure. Say CG and C, both point will lie on the same plane. So x bar equal to h bar. So this is the location of the center of pressure, and this is the amount of total pressure, or simply a total pressure force on horizontal plane surface. Let's move on to another plane surface, which is inclined plane surface. Okay, then we will derive the equation of total pressure and center of pressure for the inclined plane surface. So let's first take the pen. Inclined plane surface. Here you can see the inclined arbitrary shape of inclined plane surface, which makes an angle theta with the free surface of liquid. Here we have some changes, or we have to make some changes, because when we take the moment of any surface area, we have to consider the perpendicular distance of this surface, and for the perpendicular distance of the surface we have to consider another axis, which is such axis OO, which is exactly perpendicular to this surface, and it have again inclination theta with the free surface of liquid. So for the calculation purpose, we will consider the or the moment for the calculation purpose OO, and then we will transfer with the help of relation of sine theta with the vertical surface. So let's start. First, we will start the total pressure force acting on the strip. Again, let's consider a small strip having a distance which is inclined distance dx, not here vertical distance. Inclined distance dx at an angle theta with the free surface of liquid and the width b, and which is L distance away from the surface OO, or the surface we have taken for the reference is OO. And let's consider the intensity of pressure on this strip is P, or simply a small p. So here, according to the definition, intensity of pressure is rho g into x, or rho g into h. H is here distance x. X is the distance from free surface of liquid. But here we have to consider the distance from the surface OO here. So it is nothing but the L sine theta. If we consider this triangular distance, then it will be a like this. This is the L, this is x, here this is x, and this angle is theta. So we get the relation sine theta equal to x by L. This is nothing but the theta. So we get the equation x by L. So for calculation purpose, x is nothing but the L sine theta. So we get the intensity of pressure on the strip is omega L sine theta. Then the total pressure force according to the definition of pressure, intensity of pressure times the area, which is B into dx. So omega L sine theta into B into dx is the total pressure force, or the small pressure force acting on this strip. Then the total pressure force of the whole area, by integrating this equation, we get the total pressure force is equal to omega L sine theta into B into dx. Here W and sine theta both are constant values, so we can take out from the integration sign, and the remaining term is B into dx into L. But here V into dx is the area of the strip times the L. So we can say this is the moment of this small area, this area or small strip about the axis OO. So integration of B dx, it is the moment of surface area about the axis OO here. So we can say it is the, by integrating this, we get the total area A times the distance between axis and the CG of this area, which is nothing but the L bar. It is not shown here, but we can indicate this distance by this way. So this distance is L bar. Say distance of CG from the free axis considered, distance from axis considered, which is nothing but the OO. So by the again relation of L bar and X bar, we can replace L bar by the X bar upon sine theta. So we get the equation of total pressure force P is equal to W sine theta into AX bar divided by sine theta, by putting this value in this equation. Sine theta will cancel out, and we get the equation WA into X bar, which is just same as the pressure, which is just same as the total pressure equation for vertical plane surface. Now let's consider the center, calculate the center of pressure, or the location of center of pressure. For that, we have to again recall the principle of moments, which state that the resultant, moment of resultant force about any axis is equal to the moment of components of all that forces for about same axis. So again, let's consider the very small force acting on the strip and the moment of this force with reference to this OO, and then we will calculate the moment of the total pressure force, which is nothing but the P equal to WAX bar, and then we will equate these two moments, and we get the final equation as a H bar. So let's consider the total pressure force acting on the strip, which we have derived here, PWL into sine theta into BDX. Then the moment of this pressure force about the axis OO, it is the distance from distance of this strip, which is nothing but the L. So here WL sin theta B dx times the L. We get the equation like this: WL square sin theta into B dx. But this is the moment of a very small force acting on this strip. But for the calculation of the total force acting on the whole area, we have to take the integration of all this, and this is with the with reference to OO. So again, omega L square sin theta into B dx here, L square B dx, it is nothing but the moment of inertia of the surface area about the axis OO. So L square B dx, it is the second time, L square is the 2 times the multiplication of the length of the area B dx. So M equal to W sin theta into I0. It is the total moment of all such component, or the summation of moment of all such component with respect to OO. So let's give it a equation number 1. Remember it. Then move on the moment of the resultant force, which is nothing but the P into distance of center of P into distance of this center of pressure, center of gravity from the free surface of liquid, which is nothing but the L bar here. So again, as shown in the previous slide, L bar is nothing but the distance of CG from the axis OO. So here total pressure force P times the area L bar is nothing but the H bar upon sin theta. Equating the two moments, we get P into H bar sin theta equal to W sin theta into I0. Put the value of P, which is WA X bar, which we have derived in the previous slide, and then equating and removing common terms from both the side, we get the equation H bar equal to I0 sin square theta upon X bar. Here I0 is the moment of inertia about the axis we have considered parallel to the surface area. But we have readily available the equation of moment of inertia of the axis passing from the CG. So again, to transfer the equation, or to transfer the moment of inertia I0 to the moment of inertia about the axis passing from CG, we will apply the parallel axis theorem, which is I equal to IG plus A H bar, plus A H square. Here H is the distance between two axes, or parallel distance between two axes, which is equal to here L bar, but L bar equal to X bar upon sin theta. So by putting this value in this equation, and the value of I0, it is actually I0, not actually I0 equal to IG plus H bar. Put this value in this equation, we get the equation H bar equal to sin square theta upon X bar times IG plus A into X bar upon sin theta whole square. By removing, or by neglecting the common term from the denominator and numerator, we get the final equation H bar equal to IG upon sin square theta upon X bar plus X bar. So here again we have proved Ig, it is again positive value sin square theta. So if the value of theta is such that the sin theta is negative, but here it is the sin square, so it is again positive value. Ig is also positive, area is positive, and X bar is the distance. So we can say H bar is again in this case also the summation of two terms, or two positive terms. And so the value of H bar is always larger than X bar. So here, as shown in figure, the value of C is always below the center of gravity, or the location of center of gravity. So by this way, we have proved if the theta value, you can put theta equal to 0. If we put theta equal to 0, then what will be H bar equal to X bar. If the theta equal to 0 is nothing but the horizontal surface, and if we put the theta equal to 90, if we put the value theta equal to 90, so this equation will become Ig divided by Ax bar plus X bar, which is nothing but the equation of center of pressure for vertical plane surface. So hence we can say this equation is a universal equation and applicable to all type of surfaces, but plane surfaces, not any inclined surfaces. Now we will move on the inclined surface, and we will derive the equation for both the cases, both the parameter, say total pressure and the location of center of pressure. Here we have we can see in the figure, it is the curved surface, which may be many times seen for the dam. Here, this is the free surface of liquid. Here again, let's consider the intensity of pressure on the small area, which you cannot see here, but small dot is the small area you can consider. Intensity of pressure is P, and the small pressure force acting on this P is P into delta A. Say intensity of pressure times the area, and the total pressure force by calculating, by integrating, we get calculate the total pressure force, which is equal to WH into dA, which is the simple calculation. But here, let's consider the application, the fundamental definition of pressure. When pressure force acting on the surface in perpendicular direction in which it comes in contact. So here the pressure force is always acting perpendicular to the surface, and for that all the components have different direction. So we cannot directly sum up, or we cannot do the simply integration. So for that we have to consider the two component of forces, say vertical component and horizontal component, and by this way, by considering horizontal and vertical component, we can say we can take a simply a integration, and then we can calculate the total pressure force by applying this equation, under root sign of ph square plus pv square. Here the ph and pv is the total pressure force acting on the horizontal surface, or in horizontal direction, and total pressure force acting in the vertical direction. But here keep in mind pH and PV is both are different. When you think about the horizontal pressure force acting on the surface, then the pressure line or the line of action of force is like this, and it will act in this direction. So by this way, in this case, you can consider the pH as the total pressure force acting on the projected area. Total pressure force acting on the projected area on the curved surface, or say vertical surface. So for calculation of this curved surface, you can consider the surface like this, and calculate the total pressure force acting on the vertical surface. So by this way, you can calculate the value of pH by considering the projection of this curved surface into the vertical plane. So this is the pH value. Now for considering the value of PV, which is nothing but the acting like this each and every point. So for the calculation of the pressure force, we have to consider the weight force. Weight force, say gravitational force acting on the surface from here to here. Sorry, from here to here. And for the calculation of the weight force, we have to consider small w, which is the specific weight, times the volume. So to calculate the vertical forces acting on the plane surface, you have to consider the total volume, which is nothing but the volume covered from the bottom to the free surface of liquid. So this much volume is considered. So first calculate this volume times the rho into g, say specific weight, and this way you can calculate the total vertical forces, or sorry, component of vertical forces acting on the curved surface, and by this way you can calculate the total pressure force. And the alpha is the inclination of the force, which is nothing but the tan inverse PV by PH. Now when or where this force will act, so for this the location of the vertical pressure force is the location of the total force acting on the surface. So by considering this curved surface or the projection of the curved surface on the vertical surface, you can calculate the CG, which may be which may be here. Then you get the center of pressure C underneath the CG. So by this way, you can calculate the total pressure force and the location of the pressure force and the inclination or the angle of this force acting on the curved surface. So that is all for today. Let's summarize what we have seen today's lecture. We have derived the equation of total pressure force or the total pressure and location of the center of pressure for vertical plane surface, horizontal plane surface, inclined plane surface, and lastly, curved surface. So that is all for today. Thank you, friends.